Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. It's time to take a look at the April Smart Art Box Kit of the Month Club. This is sponsored by smartartbox.com. If you have any questions about what they offer or you want to subscribe for yourself, go check them out. I'll have a link in the video description or just type in smartartbox.com and that will get you there. So every month I get a fun new box of supplies. I find this is really fun. It would be really good for homeschool parents if you're trying to develop an art program but you don't really know where to start, because it gives you a little bit of everything. And then if you do find something that you or your kids really love, you can always go from there and invest in more supplies. But you kind of get to try it before you get in too deep, I guess would be the right way to say. So this month's kit is abstract expressionism and acrylic paint pouring, and that's been a really popular craft these days. A lot of people have been doing a lot of pours. I did a little bit, and I'll show you what I've done so far with my homemade medium, and then we'll be able to try this, which is a actual store-bought pouring medium, and we can see what sort of different results we get and see if it's worth the money to get the the real McCoy. So this kit comes with pouring medium, which is to help your paint flow and also to create those little cells. Like if you look in, if you see these little kind of bubbly formations on the, this is really pretty. This would be really neat to use for some collage or something. So it will kind of help you get those little bubbly shapes. Hopefully. That's what it says it does. We've also got some bottles of acrylic paint, and the folks at Smart Art love the combination of red, purple, and white, I've noticed. We had a project a couple months ago that had the Sennelier abstract acrylics in these colors, and I was like, wow, purple and red. I feel like a Red Hat Society person. So maybe the people that pick these are in the Red Hat Society. I don't know. But anyway, so we got some multi-surface satin, and the nice thing about this paint is you can actually use this on ceramics and bake it in your oven for a durable finish. Not food safe, but if you were doing like say, look, I've done this with my kids before. We've like taken a ceramic plate and we've painted the rim of it with like holly berries and leaves, things like that, and then we bake cookies and put the cookies in the center of the plate, not touching the rim, and given those as like Christmas presents to teachers and stuff. So it's really fun to have an oven bake acrylic paint. I also like the folk art enamels too for that sort of those sort of projects. All right, and for surfaces, we have some MDF board, which is like your masonite. You can get it at the hardware store. And we also have some canvas panels, which is nice because when I did the the paint pouring on the stretch canvas, it took days to dry in the center, and the panels dried a lot quicker. So I'm going to show you what I did before with my homemade stuff. I did this one on MDF board, and I really liked the way that turned out. I did this one on a stretch canvas, and I do like the way it turned out, but it took a long time to dry. I'm not sure if I do have one on a canvas panel. Hang on one second, and I'm going to grab that. This was done on a canvas panel. The only downside of the canvas panel was that I did get a slight amount of warping, but I think I could probably bend that back if I just weighted it under something, and I didn't have any warping that I can see with the MDF. So I think the MDF is a really excellent choice for paint pouring. You could also cut it into coaster shape before you did it and do like little coasters or trivets or what have you. So what I learned doing my DIY version was that I waste a lot of paint in the bottom of my container. So I'm going to put a piece of cardstock there right off the bat so it can catch the drips, and then maybe I can use it for paper beads or something. I don't like waste, and that's what's kept me from doing paint pouring much in the past, is that I really hate to waste. I'm just going to set a jar in here because I have it handy, and that is going to hold my canvas panel, and I'm going to use this 8x10 size because it'll give us a lot of room to see if the cells really work. I'm going to set this aside, and I've got a couple cups that I just pulled out of the recycling bin. And I also have some, you're not supposed to wash and reuse plastic, like disposable utensils, but if you want to wash them and throw them in your bin in your craft room, these are great for mixing up paints and stuff. I also saved all the baby spoons for when my kids were little, and these are great for mixing up paints or spooning out embossing powder. All you gotta do is wipe it with a, with a rag to clean it. They're really easy to use. So I read the instructions on this pouring medium already, and it says you can mix this 1-to-1 with your craft acrylics, and if you're using a thicker paint like a like say a Liquitex heavy body or something like that, you could even mix this 3-to-1, like 3 parts pouring medium. So I'm just gonna go 1-to-1 since I have the craft acrylics here. I am gonna be fairly, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it here. So I'm just going to pour a little bit in each one. And it uses quite a bit. See, that's what's kept me from buying the pouring medium, is just like, wow, it seems like it could get really expensive really quick. So now I'm going to put equal parts of this paint. I'd say that's probably about equal. And we'll do the red. I don't know about purple and red. I probably should just grab my own paints and do my own combination, but I want to do what's in the kit so that if you have the kit at home, then you can get the same results. But you can get inexpensive acrylic paint. You don't have to get the multi-surface. You can get cheaper paints and it will work just fine. So let's mix that up. Oh, it does seem like it might be making the paint a little stringier than just using the glue and water mix that I used before. It mixes up really easily. I'm curious as to how the cells are going to form. So that's kind of interesting. It has I'm trying to, the smell, it's got a smell to it that's kind of like ammonia. That could be a preservative or something, but it definitely has a little bit of an ammonia smell to it. Because I was trying to figure out what makes this different than just like gel medium or like glue and water or Mod Podge and water. I think there's some ammonia in there. I think that might be the key ingredient to making the cells. I'm not suggesting you just randomly mix household chemicals together to do your paint pouring, but that's just an observation, not intended to be recommended for any of your projects. Just don't they look pretty in there? Little yogurt cups. Those things work great for mixing stuff in the craft room. I always save the little cups. They go in the recycling bin, and then I can always retrieve them if I need to. So I don't really know what color to start with. I think I'll start one puddle with red. And I think I'll start a puddle of each color, and then I will layer them on differently so we can kind of see what sort of results we get. I'm wondering if maybe I didn't put quite as much pouring medium in this one. It's pouring though, so hopefully I've got enough there. And we'll do some white. And the reason you use pouring medium and not water is because you don't want to underbind your stuff, basically. And let's do some red on that one. Do some red on that one. I don't want to have leftovers. I don't want to have to figure out how to store it. So I'm trying to use up what I have here. And you can wipe these out and use them again, so you don't have to throw away a bunch of paint cups. I know a lot of people just get the cheap disposable cups, and that's that's your prerogative. I really try not to create more trash than I have to with my art. It just seems like art is such a positive thing, and I don't like the thought of creating more trash with my art. I don't like that the negative feeling of I am my fun now is going to be is good, like future generations are going to have to pay for my fun that I'm having now. I don't like that. So so there you go. There's my take on this. And I even save these cups, the yogurt cups, and take them down to the library and use them in our paint classes for our 2 cups of water. So lots of ways you can reuse these. Okay, so we've got our colors on there. Now I am just going to kind of tip it. I'm going to try not to coat my mason jar with this because I don't want to cover my... I should have thought that through better. I should have grabbed like an old paint can or something. And I'm just going to pour and let it drip. Oh, your fingers are going to get messy here. It'll come off though. I don't bother with rubber gloves either. Unless it's something really nasty like resin, and then I would try to like let the gloves dry and reuse them, for the same reasons that I mentioned about the cup waste. You can like guide the paint on a little bit. Okay, and then something else that I do is I will take like a scrap of cardboard. I'm just going to grab a little bit off the Smart Art box. Oh, I can see cells already starting. Look at that. That's cool. So I'm just going to grab a little flap off the Smart Art box, and sometimes you can scrape through and get some really neat effects. I don't know why exactly, but you can kind of marble it a little bit. It's kind of fun to play in, so I think you probably just kind of want to manipulate it a little bit and then leave it be, because you don't want to ruin the spontaneity or get mud. You shouldn't get too much mud with red and purple. Those are analogous colors, which means they're next to each other on the color wheel, so you know, there really shouldn't be too much of an issue there. I'll scrape that extra on there. I do like to kind of tip it and let it move. Some of the stuff I've done on my DIY pours is I've added spray paint and hairspray to help give it some interesting looks, and the hairspray helps give it cells. So it's going to be really fun to, when this is dry, to see how they compare. So I think what I'm going to do now is turn off the camera, let this kind of do its thing. We'll check back in probably in about, let's say, 20 minutes or so, and then we'll check in finally when it's all dry, and then we'll compare it with what I did with my DIY stuff, and then you can determine whether it's worth spending the cash for the store-bought painting medium, or if DIY is just as good. So I think that's fun when I get to actually compare the real McCoy with my cheapo homemade versions. So we'll see you in a little bit, and we will see how it progresses. Okay, I had to pop back in because this is kind of crazy. I just like blew into the surface of the paint and got these really neat effects. So like I just literally like hovered over the paint and just blew and just got these neat effects. So it, you know, something fun to try. We're gonna let this chill out and dry, but I just wanted to show you that because I thought that was kind of fun. One more thing I'm trying is that I'm just dripping in any leftover paint just to kind of see what it does when you get the drops of paint on top of the kind of moving surface. Yeah, why not? It's just experimenting. It's fun. And again, I hate to waste things, so if I have little drips and drops left, then I'm going to try to use them. Even if it doesn't, even if it ends up dripping off, that's fine, because it can go on the paper below, and maybe I'll be able to do something interesting with that. Something tells me I should probably just walk away and let it do its thing. Oh, I like the bubbles that are happening there. But the nice thing about this part is, like, doing this is that if you see an area where you feel like you need some contrast or another color, you can do that. I'm thinking the reason they gave us bigger bottles of, you know, fewer colors is so we don't get too, we don't get muddy when you're playing with this. Alright, I'm seriously going to leave it alone now and just leave the studio and let it do its thing and check back in as it starts to dry. Okay, I just wanted to check back in. It's probably about an hour or two later. This is still sopping wet. I didn't see a ton of cells, I have to say, so far. And I kind of think if they haven't happened yet, they're probably not going to happen. I mean, I could see like little things like that, but then again, if we look at the one I did with like household materials, I was getting those cells too using like a little spritz of hairspray. So I don't know if that's gonna be, if the store-bought's gonna be much different than my homemade. So I'm gonna let this dry overnight, and we'll check back in tomorrow after it's all dry, and we will see. So just to reiterate, these bubbles here, these dots, those were done by dripping in the paint from the cups, just like the dregs from the cups after I'd kind of tipped it around and blown on it and, you know, made and swiped it and made it move that way. So those aren't cells, those are just drips. So far it's very much like my homemade pouring medium, but we will check back tomorrow after it's dry and compare apples to apples. Okay, here we are a day later, and this is what my paint pouring experiment looks like. I guess I wouldn't say experiment, this is like with the actual supplies, the actual pouring medium. As you can see, my panel has severely warped, but The film seems to be flexible enough that I could probably bend it back. I think I definitely could like dent this with my fingernail. It still feels cool to the touch, so it's not completely cured yet. So I think I'm gonna try to bend it back a little bit while it's still pliable. But you know, I have to say that I don't think there's much of an advantage of the store-bought medium versus the homemade medium. Now this does have a nice sheen to it, but I think that has more to do with the multi-surface acrylics that I used, because I was using like seriously the cheapest that, you know, money can buy on this one. Let me look at my canvas one here. I think I was able to get, you know, like the cells I got there, I was able to get just as nice cells using the hairspray on my DIY pouring medium, and you can kind of see in there, as I was on here, which I really didn't see many cells, and that's what that pouring medium was supposed to do. It says right on the package that it was supposed to like encourage cells, and I mean you can see a little bit of cell formation there, but not what I would expect for, you know, something that you buy that says it's meant to create cells. But anyway, it definitely made the paint fluid so you could pour it. I'm sure it's going to give it better adhesion properties, and I can see like the paint film looks a lot better, a lot smoother, and a lot more uniform than it does here. But I have not varnished these, and they still say you probably should varnish this anyway, so you're gonna varnish it anyway. I really personally don't see the need to buy the paint pouring medium when you can make it with an equal mixture of Elmer's glue and water, or Mod Podge and water, or whatever you have for a white PVA glue and water. So so it was a really fun experiment, and it was a fun smart art kit. If you are interested in getting your own box of art supplies delivered to your door every month, you can check out our sponsor Smart Art at smartartbox.com. They do have some past boxes available for sale, but you know, if you definitely want to get a new box every month, you'll want to subscribe, because they don't always have leftovers to sell at the end of the month. But there is that option, you know, if you want to, you know, wait and see what it is before you buy, you can take a chance. And if you can't buy it, you know, a month later, then, you know, you can always find the supplies around. But this subscription is really fun, and I think it would be really useful for like a homeschool family, as I mentioned before. So here with the actual supplies, here with the DIY supplies. It's fun either way. And there you have it. I will link to my DIY paint pouring video as well in the video description, and Smart Art Box, and all the supplies that were in the kit. That way you can find the resources that you need. Thanks so much for watching, and please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Happy crafting!